All right, Ergo Flex family, let's talk about sales. Probably the most despised aspect that is an absolute necessity for what we do. Um, we have to sell our patients on our recommendations. All right. Now, there's been some education out there that we don't sell, we educate. If that's how you have to wrap that in your mind, okay. But realize it's sales. It's sales. I'm selling you on the idea of sales right now. I'm a professional salesman. My entire job in a clinic is to sell that patient on the idea that I am the reason why they're going to get better. That's sales. Now, there's a second part to it called closing. Closing is actually bringing that patient or prospect to a point of decision so they take action. Okay? So that you can now exchange services for money. So, what's your sales process? All right? What is it? Do you have the patient come in? You do a history, do exam, x-rays, and then adjust the patient and say, I'll see you back in 3 days and we'll see how it goes? Or do you sell packages of care? You sell 6 visits at a time, 12 visits, 36, 48, 72. What is your sales process? Is your sales process consistent? Okay. This is out of all the chiropractors that I talk to on a regular basis about them buying a piece of equipment from us. So we complete a sales process, right? Because we sell equipment. Now, another part of my job kicks in is how are you going to implement this into your practice? Not only that, but how are you going to be profitable with it? And of course, the question is, well, how much should I charge for a Back On Trac session? It's a good question. How much should you charge? All right. So you have to know some specifics about where your practice is. Okay. Per visit average collection. This is a number that you need to know. Okay. So take a quarter. Take the last quarter of 2018. All right. The last 3 months. How much did you collect? How much money in that quarter did you put in the bank account from beginning to end? And divide that number by how many patient visits you saw. Now, this isn't a patient visit based on whether money was exchanged or not, because sometimes you don't exchange money for every visit that they come in. I certainly didn't in the clinics that I ran. They paid for services in advance and then we used them. So this is every single person that comes through your door into your clinic for your professional opinion. Okay, whether they exchange money for a service or not. It's real simple. So let's say you saw 3,000 people, you collected $150,000, you collected $50 on average per patient that walked through your door. Right? That gives you a real good idea of where you're at in your clinic and how well you're collecting and what you're doing. All right? And that answers the question, that begins to answer the question of what you can charge for certain items. Again, you need to know where you're at so that you understand how to structure your fee schedule. Okay? Everybody's fee schedule is going to be a little bit different, but once you understand what you're collecting, now you can understand how important sales is. Sales and closing, and how they actually are critical in your ability to stay in business. Not only stay in business, but to help the patient. Because I can guarantee you this. If you have a patient that has purchased care in advance, is invested in you as the person who's going to get them better, they show up for care. they make their appointments. And if they don't make their appointments, they're giving you reasons why they're not making their appointments before you ever ask. Okay? Because it's your job as the doctor to make sure they keep their appointments, because that's how you're going to get them better. All right? It's been very, very few occasions in my chiropractic career that I've been able to do one perfect adjustment that corrects the subluxation and I don't have to treat them again. They've happened, but those are rare events. Most of the time, people, by the time they get to you, they need multiple treatment sessions, multiple treatment sessions in order to get that better. So sales is a critical component to what you need to do in your clinic. And it needs to be absolutely reproducible. Okay? This way, your staff knows exactly what's going to happen when that patient walks in the door. Because if you have 10 new patients walk in the door and you handle each and every one of those new patients in a completely different manner, your staff has no idea how to even begin to talk to that patient that this is what's going to happen for them. So consistency in how you deliver your services is critical. Okay? So what is your sales process? What is it? They call, you answer the phone, you set an appointment, they come in, you do your doctor things like exam, history, timeline, x-rays, and then you make your recommendations based on that. Okay? Now, in the sales aspect of that, do you have a structure? Okay? What's your structure in that? If you don't, and it's not reproducible, and it's not something you're using for every single new patient that walks in your door or return patient, you've got a disconnect. It needs to be handled. All right? Now, at our Secrets to $1 Million Practice in March 22nd, 23rd, we're going to be addressing those very specific concepts and how important sales and closing is to your practice. If you don't have good sales and closing training, you have no idea where your clinic is. Okay? If you just got great personality and charisma and you're floating by on that, you still need to have better sales training. If you have no idea how to sell and you're just having them come in, every second day based on how they feel, guess what? The second you get them out of pain, they're gone, because you haven't educated them on the reasons why they need to continue care. And that education, there's a difference between education in my mind and sales. Two very different things. There's an education process inside the sales event. Okay? You got to educate the patient, then you have to sell them on the reasons why they need to get this problem corrected, and then you need to close them in where they actually pay for services. So March 22nd, 23rd, Secrets to $1 Million Practice here in Conroe, Texas, at our world headquarters. We will be going over all of these different aspects. I'm going to put some amazing speakers together for you so that when you go back into practice on Monday, not only are you going to be able to implement clinical pearls, but sales and close and business pearls immediately so that you know exactly what you need to do. All right, guys, keep saving lives, and we'll see you in March.